pretty normal upbringing. We grew up in inner city Dallas. Went to DISD Independent School District, and all the problems therein. Um, Grew up in a neighborhood where there was a lot of gang activity, a lot of crime, a lot of violence. Um, Not in our house, but in our neighborhood. So, perhaps maybe it's not a normal upbringing, really. When you think about all that, it was pretty normal to go to bed every night, hearing gunshots, police helicopters, high speed chases, that type of thing. We had our house broken into, I think, every year for 13 years in a row. Had all our stuff stolen. Actually, I had a drive by on our house one time, a drive by shooting. So there was a lot of very negative influences around us, and add on top of that, not having the foundation of God, the door was open for trouble for us. I think I just turned 18, and we got arrested for burglary of a vehicle, which is a felony charge, and that's when that was the first time I got arrested. I got arrested 4 or 5 more times after that. People would have described me as a thug. I was always into trouble. I was always at the party. So yeah, but the felony charge was big. That should have been a life-changing moment for me, and for a while it was. But then I just continued to get in trouble because that's all I knew. Came down here to San Marcos. I was hoping to get into UT. Couldn't get into UT. Got into Texas State. I reached a point in my life that I just got tired of it. And I was looking at what I was doing. I really think, more than anything, that it was the move from Dallas to San Marcos. It took me a couple of years before I realized that the world wasn't like my neighborhood. And when you grow up in an environment like that, that's all you know. We were having a party at our apartment, and really messed up. I mean, drunk. I'm sure I was high. And it just hit me. I went to bed that night, and I couldn't sleep. And I got down on my knees and prayed for the first time in I don't know how long. And I just said, God, I don't want to be this person anymore. And I didn't really know God then, but I knew him enough. And so I prayed that he would introduce me to a godly woman. And I met Lindsay the next day at HEB. And I walked into the little HEB, and I saw her sitting over there on her cashier stand, and I said, Mike, that girl over there, she is so cute. I said, if I could find a woman like that, I would never let her go. And sure enough, man, I gave her my phone number when we went through the line. And we started talking, and then we started dating. And really, I think behind every good man is a good woman. And I think Lindsay was a big part of that change for me. So we decided, about probably a year and a half, 2 years into dating, we decided we want to get married. We went to Tennessee and got married there by her pastor, or by her granddad's pastor. Like a lot of people, though, we just got married, went on our honeymoon, and went on with life. Got busy working in our careers and doing that deal. And then, of course, along came Wyatt, our firstborn. And I remember when he was born, praying a lot for him. And praying that he would be, a blessing and be healthy, and that we would, be good parents. And I would say it was probably about 6 months after he was born that it just hit me one night. The word of God hit me hard, and I was praying for him, and God just said, you need to bring your children to church. And he said, you need to bring your family to church. And that was when Promised Land was being built. Well, this is on the way to our house. So, we started seeing the church here being built. And so I drove by one night and said, well, let me see, what's up with this church. I wanted to see if it was Baptist or, what kind of church it was. And of course, it didn't say anything. So I thought, well, it's got to be, I guess, a non-denominational. And my second big hang up was, I didn't want to have to get up early on Sunday because I was working in the restaurants, getting out at 1 a.m, 2 a.m. sometimes. So when I looked at the door and said church service 11 o'clock, I said, well, let's try this one out. And so we talked about it, and we came that next Sunday, and that was the end of our shopping. We felt at home right off the bat. I mean, this was definitely home for us. So my life today, I father of 3 kids, and we have another one on the way. Of course, husband to Lindsay. We've been blessed with a beautiful home. We're on acreage out here in the woods, loving that. Member of Promised Land Church, happy to be here. Directing the prison ministries, big part of my life now. That's just been an amazing blessing. Just an overflowing blessing. I mean, you just can't even describe what I've gained from being involved in that. And of course, area director with Johnny Carino's, overseeing 6 restaurants. You know, we try to make sure that we have family time every weekend, that we do something together as a family. We go out to dinner after church together, or whether it's that or just playing out in the yard, the kids helping me out in the yard, or out on the soccer fields, whatever it might be. We make a point, I make it a point to make sure that I'm spending quality time with them, because I think that that's one of the most important things I can do, aside from being a good role model, is actually being involved, and checking grades and checking report cards and, giving them a pat on the back when they do a good job. And, Boy Scouts, we're doing that as well, and just working through it together as a family. I like for my legacy to my children to be that I'm a man of God, and that they will be children of God too. That they will always have that foundation, that rock to always stand on, no matter what their environment's like. Seeing my kids involved in church is one of the most amazing things that I have witnessed to. We came down to pick up the kids, and Brother Pete told us the other day that our kids had prayed over some of the other kids in the church. And, to me, that's amazing. To see them raising their hands in worship during the worship part of the service, that's amazing to me. You can't describe the feelings of pride that brings up. Seeing Wyatt, my oldest, reading the Bible and taking time to read the Bible and learn about it. Of course, Ryan's not quite ready to read yet, so he's still learning that. But, watching them just be involved and, saying the dinner prayer and doing stuff like that, to me, that's super cool.